Hi, I'm Chris Robinson. I'm Gary, Indiana, Midtown area. I went to Banneker Elementary, and from there I went to Westside. Well, actually from Banneker, went to Bishop Noll, stayed there for 3 years, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Left the middle of my 9th grade year, transferred back to Westside where I started playing football again. Got to reconnect with a lot of my friends that I started with in Gary, from like Pop Warner, Midtown baseball, stuff like that. And then that's what, kind of brought things back into full swing. From Westside, I then went to Morehouse, and then I graduated from Morehouse in 2020. Transition was actually better than, a lot of people would think. So when I was at Bishop Noll, I actually credit this kind of to where I am today. When I was at Bishop Noll, that's when I started to play football again, outside of Pop Warner on a competitive level. So of course, the goal is to, get a scholarship or, try to, do something with it. And as Black kids, I feel like that's kind of all we knew was just, play sports. And then I remember at Bishop Noll, of course, it wasn't too many Black people, so you always had maybe I don't want to say a dark cloud, but a dark cloud on you, that you were a Black person from Gary. So you feel me? They always knew who you were, but not for the right reasons, of course. But then when I went to Westside, all of that changed. I felt like I was able to find out who I really was. I still played football for 3 years, of course, so I was at Westside. But that's when I started finding myself outside of school again. Like I said, that kind of brought things back into full swing with the community. Did a lot of community service with the football team at Westside. Kind of instilled that brotherhood upon me. And then when I got to Morehouse, and I met all the Black men, and then I was just okay, everything is starting to clear, everything starting to make sense. What was going on in Bishop Noll, that didn't really matter, you feel me? What's going on at Westside, okay, that just helped me to get to where I am now. Then when I got to where I was, you feel me, I was able to take everything that I had learned, use that, just kind of fit in. And I don't want to say fit in, because that's never the goal, to fit in, but be acclimated or be comfortable in the environment that I was in. Yeah, it was crazy, to be honest. That's the thing, still thinking back on it, I really don't know what I expected from college. I mean, I knew that college would be, good time, parties, of course, girls, of course, things like that. But I never really had any major expectations oh, I gotta join a fraternity, or, oh, I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. I just went in with an open mind. That's the thing, I really didn't know much about Morehouse. I remember I was kind of scared because I thought they wore a uniform. They do have a signature coat and tie, and then during NSO, which is New Student Orientation, I'll speak a little bit on that. They give you a tie and a shirt that says Morehouse, and you're welcome in a ceremony. It's like a brotherhood ceremony, where you shake hands, you do the hymn. You know what I'm saying? You learn all of that, learn about the school. It's a real dope experience. A lot of that can't be spoken on, of course, just to keep things traditional. One of the best things was just seeing, okay, so a lot of people think you go to all-male school, why do you want to do that? But like you said, you feel me, the focus is crazy, and then on top of that, you're surrounded by all Black men who are on not the same journey, but similar journeys, you feel me, to get somewhere. And that's the thing, you just got to use each other as stepping stones. Everybody was helping each other. Of course, you feel me, it was times where, a little beef, a little fight here and there, but that just comes with life, and you feel me, you got to learn how to take those situations and, navigate them, yeah. So at the time, if you do remember, that's when it was a lot of civil unrest in the country. It was right after the George Floyd. One of my best friends, he was brutally snatched out the car by Atlanta police, and tased and beaten on live TV. And that kind of did something for me. I was always kind of the ambitious, kind of go up and say something, not kind of just let the rocks get thrown at us, throw them back kind of guy. But that's when it kind of hit me, was we can't, every approach we gotta do is gonna be different.
So literally one day I'm driving through Gary. I remember I got off on Broadway exit, and I was just like, yo, Gary has been looted. And I was literally by myself, and I don't want to say I was talking out loud, but I remember having these thoughts in my head, and I was like, this shit is looted, like you know, like everything that's going on right now. And what put this in my head was that when I was in Atlanta and we were at the riots and I saw all of the stores, you know, being broken into, being vandalized, stuff like that. And then I drove down Broadway, what connected was, Gary has been like this for maybe my whole life, 23 years. I don't want to say all of my 23 years, but for the majority of my 20 years in Gary, you know, Broadway, downtown Gary has looked like that. But unfortunately, you feel me, that's the reality for us here versus, you know, you go to Atlanta, they might throw a rock in the window at the Dior store. They're going to fix that in 24 hours, you know, and you know, the people in Buckhead are going to be back shopping in the Dior store, you know, back, you know, giving money into the economy out there. And it's just like, you feel me, here in Gary, that's not an option. Like I said, the store downtown, Tom Alesker's, you feel me, that's been looking like that 15, 18 years. Like, it's been abandoned. So it's just like, you feel me, that's our everyday reality here in Gary. And you know, like I said, we have to take different approaches. So I was like, this is my first approach. You know, let's answer this question. So you feel me, I went out and tried to find a question or tried to find an answer onto why Gary has been looted, or, you know, what happened in Gary exactly. And I got a lot of different answers. I got definitely a lot of answers that I wanted. So yeah, and bringing it to fruition, it took a lot. Didn't have a big budget, didn't have a big team. But, you know, everything is possible, especially with God and a vision. And that's literally all we had. It's so many narratives that has to be changed. Like, I don't know. And that's the thing, like, that's number one, of course. Okay, we just start there, change the narrative. And with that being said, you know, we need to start exposing the youth, or not even the youth, exposing our communities, because the youth is exposed, quote unquote, the youth, you feel me? Youth is the white kids. But exposing our communities, inner city black children, to these careers in tech, to careers in production. You know, let them know that it's possible. Like right now, my full-time job, I'm a college advisor at Darrell High School in Atlanta. And it's a lot of kids that come to me like, oh, I want to make movies. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna show you Georgia Film Academy. You feel me? This is a 4-year school where you can go, you feel me? You can use your fast, you know, showing them the best route, what's, you know, less expensive. You know what I'm saying? All of the best ways on how to get there. You know, because that's the thing. I remember when I went to college, we didn't have a college advisor. Or I remember my actual counselor at Westside told me I couldn't go to Morehouse because she said, she said, do you have the grades and do you have the money? She didn't know nothing about me, obviously. As a counselor, that's kind of messed up. But, you feel me? So it's just like providing those resources, you know, like when I was in high school, that's the thing, I guess I always want to do documentaries, but I never, you know, that wasn't exposed to me. Nobody ever really told me how to, and I still don't know how to, you know, how to look. But, you know, the youth does, you know what I'm saying? So there's opportunities for them. Literally, one of my students texted me last night. He wants to go to SCAD, which is Savannah College of Art and Design. A lot of the people that I worked with in the film industry went to the school, graduated from there, but for some reason they don't take fee waivers. So it's like, wow, you feel me? You know what's really up? So it's like, you know, why can't? And it's just like that. Like those type of barriers have to be broken, and those are the narratives that we have to change. Because obviously, you feel me? He wants to go to the school, but he doesn't have $100 for a fee waiver. I don't either. I'm a grown man. You feel me? So it's like, you know, like that's not fair that he can't apply. You feel me? So it's just like that in itself, you feel me, is a barrier that stops kids from, you know, expressing their full creativity right there. Making a name for yourself is gonna come. You just gotta be consistent, number one. Keep God first. That's really number one. Keep God first. Consistency, of course. Even if you're making bad content or whatever you do, even if you think you're bad at it, that's being consistent. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get better than you was yesterday. That's why I said, like, you know, every day you're going, you know, that's considered making it out because you're still going.
Man, What's Your Story vlog? Definitely dope. Like what y'all doing, promoting stories, because like I said, this is starting changing the narratives, telling stories. It's crazy. I don't want to keep touching on this, but the same guy last night, when he closed up, he was like, imagination is the best nation. Keep telling your story, bro. And so you feel me, like, I don't think people understand how important storytelling is, even in the culture of black people. And I'm not talking about like, you know, right now black people, I'm talking about like 1600s, 1400s when we were slaves. You feel me? We literally survived off the stories that our ancestors passed down to each other about our families and, you know, their tribes or wherever they came from. Storytelling has always been huge in our culture. So what y'all doing, telling other people's stories, is definitely dope. I appreciate that. And I just want to say that that's what I want to keep doing. You know, just keep telling stories, keep changing the narrative. You know, showing other young black men that it's possible, and that we can all do it together. Because I'm nowhere near, you know, my finish line or where I want to get to. But, you know, I'm one step closer than I was yesterday, you know, with this interview. You feel me? We're connected now, you feel me? This will touch your platform, or, you know, this will, you know. So it's just like, man, every day is just, you know, a different battle, a different grind, just trying to get better. Looted is out on my website, crispyrobinson.us/looted. Still got some t-shirts for sure, but the film is always available. Looking to do definitely Looted again in another city. So 2022, be on the lookout, of course. Follow us on the gram at Looted the Documentary. My personal gram is Turbo Crob. That's Turbo CROB. And then also, yeah, I mean, if you ever want to work, like I said, I'm open to collab with anybody. I do commission as well, if you feel me, if you need work, or if you have an idea you want to get that done. We can talk about that. Everything will be available on my website. Again, that's crispyrobinson.us. But like I said, man, biggest thing is changing the narrative. And just think about that in your day-to-day life. You know, if it's something you want to change, or if it's something that you're passionate about changing, speak up on it. You know, do something. Every day is just a new day, and creating those routines, or, you know, just, I don't know, man, it's just every day is a new day to be better and just be somebody that you wasn't yesterday. Or that's it, you feel me? Change the narrative, be you.